What I'm about to cover is not a rumor. It is not a scare tactic. It is documented, active, and happening right now in 2026. And banks across the country are formally telling seniors to stop doing specific things that are costing people everything. The American Bankers Association, the FDIC, the FBI, and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau have all issued official warnings this year. I went through every one of them carefully. And what I found is that most seniors have either never seen these warnings or saw them and didn't understand how specifically they apply to anyone who uses a bank account, visits a branch, or touches an ATM. That is every senior in America. There are 6 things banks are now formally telling seniors to stop doing. Not suggestions, not tips. Official warnings backed by federal consumer protection agencies. If you do any of these 6 things, or know someone who does, the consequences can be permanent and total. Your entire account emptied in hours with no way to reverse it. Stay until the end. The last one is the fastest growing financial fraud targeting seniors in the country right now, and it is specifically engineered to fool careful, educated, sharp people. Not just people who aren't paying attention. Pass this to someone before this video ends. I will tell you exactly why that matters in a moment. I want to start by saying something directly. The people who fall victim to what I am about to describe are not naive. They are not people who weren't paying attention. The FBI's own reporting on senior financial fraud in 2026 specifically notes that victims are often sharp, educated, and careful. People who would never describe themselves as someone who could be fooled. These schemes are designed by professionals. They are tested, refined, and specifically engineered to work on people who are paying attention. Understanding that is the first step to not becoming a statistic. Here are the 6 things banks are formally warning seniors to stop doing in 2026. Warning number 1. Your card never leaves your hands at an ATM, not to a stranger who offers to help, not to someone who says the machine is broken and they know how to fix it, not to anyone who is not a uniformed bank employee inside a secured teller window. Here's the specific reason this matters in 2026. A device called a shimmer, the evolved version of the older card skimmer, can now read every piece of information off your card chip in under 3 seconds of physical contact. Not the magnetic strip, the chip, the thing that was supposed to make cards more secure. A shimmer is small enough to fit inside the card slot itself. You would not see it. You would not feel it. If a stranger holds your card for 3 seconds while appearing to help you, that is enough time. Your card information is copied. Your account is compromised before you get home. The American Bankers Association's official 2026 consumer guidance states this plainly. If you have difficulty using an ATM, walk inside the branch and ask a uniformed employee. If someone near the ATM offers to help and reaches toward your card, walk inside. Do not hand the card over. Do not explain yourself. Walk inside. And here is something most people do not know is happening at ATMs right now. Banks and the Secret Service have both issued warnings in 2026 about physical cash trap devices being inserted into ATM cash dispensers, specifically documented in multiple states. A small device placed inside the cash slot captures your bills as they dispense. The screen says the transaction completed successfully. You see nothing come out. You assume the machine malfunctioned. You walk away. The criminal removes the trap and your cash the moment you leave. If you use an ATM and cash does not come out after a confirmed successful transaction, do not walk away. Stay at the machine. Call your bank immediately from that location and ask them to flag the transaction and review the machine before you leave. Walking away assumes the error is mechanical. It may not be. Warning number 2. Cover the keypad every single time you enter your PIN. Not most of the time. Every time. Without exception, even when no one appears to be nearby. The ABA's official consumer guidance in 2026 is explicit about this. There are documented cases of small mirrors, cameras disguised as ATM fixtures, and recording devices positioned near keypads that have captured PINs from customers who were certain they were alone. Cover the keypad with your other hand, every time. At ATMs, at gas stations, at grocery checkout, at any point you enter a PIN. And here is something that catches people off guard inside the bank itself. When a teller helps you with a transaction and asks you to enter your PIN on the pad, that teller is required by banking policy to look away while you enter it. Not as a courtesy, as policy. If a bank employee does not look away, say it directly, "Please turn away while I enter my PIN." That is your right as a customer. Any legitimate bank employee will honor it immediately. If they don't, ask for a branch manager. Warning number 3. Your phone stays in your hands inside the bank. This is the one that catches people off guard because it feels genuinely rude to refuse. A bank employee asked to see your phone, to help set up an app, to fix a problem with your account, to verify something on the screen. It seems like normal assistance. You hand it over. Here's what banks are warning about in 2026. Your phone with an open banking app is direct access to your accounts. In documented cases, someone with a phone for 30 seconds has transferred funds, added their own device as a trusted contact on the account, or installed remote access software that later gave them ongoing control, meaning even after you got your phone back, they could still access your accounts. The rule banks are formally stating is this. Bank employees help you by explaining what steps to take. You enter the information yourself. You hold the phone. You tap the screen. If anyone insists they physically need to hold your phone to assist you, ask for a branch manager. That is a completely reasonable request. Any legitimate bank will honor it without hesitation or pushback. If there is pushback, that is the signal that something is wrong. Warning number 4. Never sign anything you have not read. Not inside a bank, not anywhere. This happens in the branch at the desk, with a friendly employee handing you a stack of papers, and moving at a pace that feels like slowing down would be rude or difficult. Banks are now formally instructing their own customers on this. The small print is where the significant things are. In documented cases, customers signed quickly and agreed to automatic credit line increases they did not request, consent to share their financial data with third-party partners, and enrollment in fee-based services they never asked for. None of those employees necessarily did anything illegal. The customer signed. The authorization was there. Here's what you say when someone hands you paperwork and appears to be moving fast. I need a moment to read this. 4 words. No legitimate bank can require you to sign anything without reading it first. That is a federal consumer protection right. If anyone pushes back on that request, ask for a supervisor. And if you look at your monthly bank statement and see a fee or charge you do not recognize, call the bank and ask, "Did I sign an authorization for this?" You have the right to that answer. If you signed something under pressure and did not understand what you were agreeing to, you have the right to file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau at consumerfinance.gov. That is a free federal resource, and it carries real weight with financial institutions. Warning number 5. Do not ignore account alerts. And if your bank offers them and you are not enrolled, enroll today. Banks in 2026 are sending real-time text and email alerts for account activity, transactions over a certain dollar amount, new device logins, wire transfer requests, changes to account contact information. These alerts are free. They take 5 minutes to set up, and in documented cases of senior financial fraud, the difference between stopping a theft and losing everything came down to whether the account holder saw an alert within the first few minutes. Here is the specific threat this protects against in 2026. If someone has your account login from a data breach, a phishing email, or remote access software installed on your phone or computer, they can access your account from anywhere. The first sign is usually an alert for a login from an unfamiliar device or location. If you receive an alert for activity you did not initiate, call your bank immediately using the number on the back of your card, not a number from the alert itself, not a number from a Google search. The number on the back of your card. That number goes directly to your bank's verified fraud line. Banks are also now offering what is called a trusted contact system, where you can designate a family member or trusted person whom the bank can contact if they notice unusual activity that may suggest fraud or financial exploitation. That person cannot move your money. They cannot control your account. They are simply someone the bank can alert if something looks suspicious. If your bank offers this and you have not set it up, it is worth considering today. Warning number 6, and this is the one I need you to hear all the way through because it is the fastest growing financial fraud targeting seniors in the United States right now, documented and reported on specifically in 2026 by the FBI, the FTC, and the Associated Press. Never, under any circumstances, withdraw cash from your bank and deposit it into a cryptocurrency ATM because someone told you to. I want to say that again clearly. Never. Under any circumstances, regardless of who is asking, regardless of what they tell you, regardless of how official they sound. Here is exactly how this scheme works. You receive a call, a text, or an email from someone claiming to be the IRS, Social Security Administration, Medicare, your bank's fraud department, or law enforcement. They tell you that your account has been compromised, that you owe back taxes, that someone has stolen your identity, or that your money needs to be protected immediately. They sound completely official. They may know your name. In some cases, they know your account balance or recent transaction history, information obtained from data breaches. They direct you to go to your bank, withdraw a specific amount of cash, sometimes $5,000, sometimes $50,000, and deposit it into a Bitcoin ATM, or cryptocurrency kiosk. They tell you this is the secure government-approved method to protect your funds during the investigation. The moment you feed cash into that machine, it is gone. Permanently. It cannot be reversed. It cannot be traced. It cannot be recovered by your bank, the FBI, or anyone else. Cryptocurrency transactions are irreversible by design. Indiana became the first state in the country to ban cryptocurrency ATMs entirely in March 2026, specifically because of this scheme. Tennessee and Minnesota followed within weeks. As of June 2026, more than 30 states have passed laws restricting or banning crypto kiosk operations for exactly this reason. Banks across the country are now formally training their tellers and branch employees to intervene when a senior customer makes an unusual large cash withdrawal. Because in many of the documented cases, the victim is on the phone with the scammer while standing at the teller window. The bank employee is the last person who can stop what is about to happen. If a bank employee asks you why you are making a large cash withdrawal, answer them honestly. They are not being nosy. They are not overstepping. They may be the last line of defense between you and a permanent total loss. Here's the piece of information that stops this scheme entirely. The real IRS does not call people and demand immediate cash payment into a cryptocurrency machine. The real Social Security Administration does not instruct people to move their money. The real Medicare does not contact you about fraud by phone. Real law enforcement does not ask you to deposit cash into a Bitcoin ATM to protect yourself. If anyone tells you that the secure and correct action is to withdraw cash and put it into a crypto machine, that is the scam. Hang up, walk away from the machine. Call a family member. Call your bank using the number on the back of your card. Call 1-800-772-1213 if it involves Social Security. Call 1-8773-82-4357 if it involves any federal agency. These are the real numbers. Use them. Here's why I asked you to pass this video on at the beginning. The people most targeted by what I just covered are often the people least likely to find this video on their own. A parent who is sharp, careful, and educated, but has never heard of a shimmer or a cash trap device. A neighbor who would never describe themselves as someone who could be scammed, but doesn't know that the IRS never calls about crypto. A sibling who just received a phone call right now that sounds disturbingly official. One share. One conversation. That is genuinely the difference between someone losing everything and someone being protected. Pass this to someone today. Here is the full summary of what banks are formally warning seniors to stop doing in 2026. Warning 1. Never let your card leave your hands at an ATM. A shimmer reads your chip in under 3 seconds. If cash doesn't dispense after a confirmed transaction, call the bank from that location. Do not walk away. Warning 2. Cover the keypad every single time you enter a PIN, without exception, even when you believe you are alone. Inside the bank, you have the right to ask a teller to look away. Warning 3. Keep your phone in your hands inside the bank. Bank employees explain what to do. You enter the information yourself. If anyone insists on physically holding your phone, ask for a branch manager. Warning 4. Read before you sign. 4 words. I need a moment. Are all you need to say. No legitimate bank can require you to sign without reading. If a charge appears on your statement that you didn't authorize, call and ask about it. Warning 5. Enroll in account activity alerts today if you haven't already. If you receive an alert for something you did not do, call your bank immediately using the number on the back of your card, not a number from the alert. Warning 6. Never withdraw cash from a bank and deposit it into a cryptocurrency ATM because someone instructed you to. The real IRS, Social Security, Medicare, and law enforcement never ask anyone to do this. If someone tells you to, it is the scam. Hang up. Walk away. Call a real number. And consider setting up a trusted contact with your bank. A family member the bank can alert if something looks wrong. They cannot touch your money. They are simply a safety net. The scammers designing these schemes are professionals. They are doing this full time. They are good at it. The only defense is knowing exactly what these schemes look like before they happen to you. Subscribe, pass this to someone you know, and I will see you in the next one.